it actually might be returning. A game that is one of the greatest shooters we have ever seen, one of the greatest first-person multiplayer shooters on the market at its time. A game that had some of the greatest character designs in gaming as a whole. A game that Sony put so much money into for good reason, because this game was so damn juicy and amazing when it came out. And that game is Concord. Oh my god, I can't believe I'm making another video on this game, bro. I'm going to be going to hell just for joking about that, aren't I? And before we get into it, we are almost at 300 subscribers, so if you guys like gaming news and gaming reviews and you are new here, please subscribe if you enjoy this content and you enjoy this video. I love you guys so much. I also do live streams every day and clips every day along with my videos every day. I love you guys. Thank you so much. Now let's get into the video. And here we are. Article on Game Rant called Rumor: Concord could be preparing for a comeback by Dalton Cooper just a few days ago. And despite my sarcasm at the start of this video, Concord was a game that was universally hated by pretty much everybody and played by pretty much no one. It released to only 700 players. And then, in the beta, it only had about 2,400 players. So only a fourth of the people that played it in beta came back. To be 700 total players, this is almost unheard of. This game died in 2 weeks. People hated every bit of the character designs that were completely ripped off of Guardians of the Galaxy. It's basically like those sports games that you can't actually put the player name on the back of the jersey. That's what this game was for Guardians of the Galaxy. It was literally basically like a Guardians of the Galaxy first-person hero shooter multiplayer game. But besides the point, Sony also put $400 million into this, even though the second we saw this game before the beta, it was not worth any time or any investment. It looked terrible, and we go from there. So this article starts off with saying the Steam version of Concord is still being updated despite the fact that the game shut down over a month ago. And when this game was first revealed earlier this year, the game was met with apathy from the community, and Sony is best known for its blockbuster single-player experiences, and so many fans were disappointed when Concord was unveiled as a live service, multiplayer-only hero shooter game. Now listen, I don't really think the multiplayer live service part is the problem. There's a ton of popular multiplayer live service games in every genre. The problem is the hero shooter part of this sentence. And the problem is the $40 price tag they put on this game. Those were the bigger problems. Concord's character design were similarly met with backlash from the community, and when the game launched as a $40 premium product, like I just mentioned, it was immediately dismissed by the vast amount of PlayStation fans. Steam users on PC rejected it even in greater numbers, with Concord's peak concurrent player count on the platform not even hitting 700 total, like I mentioned. Mere weeks after its launch, Sony announced that Concord was shutting down, though the doors were wide open for the game to eventually make a return. I can't even believe I'm reading that sentence. I can't believe they are actually bringing this game back. And although it kind of makes sense, because why not just juice this game out? I'm sure they still have more cutscenes for the story mode that they want to show. I'm sure they have more maps that they already had created that they're waiting to release, as they do with every live service game. They try to stay ahead. And the studio, I don't believe, has even shut down yet. It does make sense for them to make a return, try to juice some money out of this thing, and try to reclaim a couple dollars of the hundreds of millions that Sony lost. I still can't believe they're doing it. Who is actually going to play this game? Does making this game free to play change that people are completely unappealing, or the character designs are completely unappealing? That doesn't change anything. That this game is a very bland, stale version of a hero shooter that you only wanted to spend time in other games anyway? I mean, the $40 price tag was a big thing, so maybe people will come back. Maybe I'm wrong. We've seen it before, but not many times. Recent developments suggest Concord could indeed be trying to make a comeback. Reddit user, the one with cats, I mean, what the hell? Notice that Concord's files on the platform are still being updated, with the last update released on October 8th. It's unclear what purpose these post-shutdown updates serve, but fans are speculating that the developers may be turning Concord into a free-to-play experience. Now, you look at this, I don't know what any of this means. I don't know what any of this means. I am not a coder. I don't know anything about the back end. But as you can tell, there's a new build being updated. There's a new time it's being updated. And there's some random encrypted grid shit down here. I don't know what any of that means. But it is being updated. You can see that on the Steam back end. Now, going forward here, If Concord goes free to play, it should do wonders for the game's player count compared to how things went down when it was a $40 game. Will it? Does anyone want to play a game that already died? I don't know, because nobody wants to play a game that's dying. No one wants to play a game that died. People want to play a game that other people are excited about and are playing and that are posting videos about and have content creators talking about them. That's what people want to play. Even then, though, Concord will be fighting an uphill battle. A switch to free-to-play economy won't magically make the character designs more appealing, like I mentioned. And that is honestly one of the biggest reasons why a lot of players didn't bother with the game. Yes, that was one of the top 10 biggest reasons, for sure. Going forward here, let's not forget that PC gamers had a chance to play before the game actually launched and before it was free to play. Concord's free-to-play beta period saw a peak of 2,400 players, like I mentioned, on Steam, which is still pretty abysmal. App that is horrible. I'm pretty sure the Gollum game had more than that. Jesus. Still, that's more than what the game managed to draw as a $40 game, and perhaps over time it can do what other live service games have done and turn around its public perception. Probably not. Probably not, brother. Who knows, but maybe. One big hurdle that will likely still be extremely problematic for Concord on Steam if it does come back as a free-to-play game is its PSN account requirement. Dude, remove it. Look at Helldivers 2 as your biggest example. The game lost like 80% of their players because of this. Obviously, some came back, and then others left because of the terrible patches and updates they did to all the things that were fun in the game. But why is this a thing? If you want to play a game on PC, why do you need a PlayStation? That's like a whole nother video for another time that I could rant about for 20 minutes. But this is so dumb. Take it out if you want anybody to actually play your game. If you want to scrounge the dirt of one little player, take this out, please. Many Steam users have protested PSN requirement Sony is imposing on its Steam games by review bombing and simply refusing to play the games. So even if Concord makes a comeback totally free to play, it may still find itself struggling with getting Steam users to check it out. That is absolutely true. Oh my god. Look at this down here. 1.8 out of 10 stars. Oh my god. 20% critic recommended? Guys, I'm gonna be honest. If this game comes back, I wouldn't even waste your time, man. I probably still wouldn't even waste your time unless they announce some crazy shit. So as you can see, this game is actually potentially coming back. Why would Sony be making updates post-shutdown of this game if they weren't planning something else for this game? And honestly, why would Sony put $400 million into this game if they were just going to throw this game to the side and never try to recoup some of that money back? Why would they not have shut down the studio yet if they weren't planning something? There's a lot here that is going through my head that really kind of makes me think that they're going to try to bring this back as a free-to-play game. They did have 4 times the amount of players when it was free-to-play in beta. However, 4 times the amount of players was still under 2,500 players, which is absolutely abysmal, like we mentioned earlier when we were going through that article. It was less than Gollum. It was probably less than Mickey Mouse Treehouse. Like, there's no way people are really going to come back and play this dead game. Like I said, nobody wants to play a game that is completely dead, that nobody's playing, that nobody's talking about, unless it's like obviously an old PlayStation 2 game or something and you want to go back, relive nostalgia of a game that used to be great, something like that. But as a new game, no one's going to be switching over to this game. No one's going to switch over from Overwatch to this game. It's just probably not going to happen. Even though Overwatch is losing a lot of players as well. But you still have a lot of like the MOBA games, for example, that are quote-unquote hero shooters. If you look at like something like Deadlock. Even a lot of these Battle Royale games that are super popular can be considered hero shooters. Like Apex Legends, for example. And all of these games are free to play and taking away a ton of people from Concord in games like Concord. People would probably rather just play the Destiny 2 multiplayer than playing Concord at this point. So there's a lot of other things that it has to compete with, and this one's not doing anything necessarily better than these other games, so I really don't think people are going to come back. I wouldn't waste your time, especially your money, even though if it comes back, it'll probably be free to play, but I guarantee there's going to be microtransactions. They're going to try to recoup something from us. So, and they have that PlayStation Network requirement, so if you're on PC, don't even waste your time. If you don't want to make a PlayStation account, you shouldn't have to. So, We'll have to see what ends up happening here. I do believe it's probably going to come back at least a little bit because of the amount of money they spent into this game. Maybe just for another month, maybe for another 2 weeks. Who knows? Both of those would be longer than it ran in the first place. So that's pretty much all I wanted to talk about today. Again, I can't even believe I am talking about Concord again. However, if you guys like the video, please like the video. Comment down below what you guys think about this. Are you guys going to be hopping into Concord? I would say hopping back into Concord, but you probably didn't hop into it for the first time. So are you guys going to actually try it out maybe for the first time if it is free to play? Are you guys completely done with this Guardians of the Galaxy multiplayer clone? Who knows? But I love you guys. Like the video, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace!